So Lakshman, as we know, he is the one who decided to accompany his brother, that is Ram, to the forest, right? Why did he want to accompany Ram to the forest? Parce que for him, Ram was the ideal one. And if Ram can't be the king, he can't remain in the kingdom. Wherever Ram will be, he will be there. So this shows how devoted he was to his brother, right? But now it is said that Lakshman is the incarnation of Sheshnag. Sheshnag say, the serpent on which Vishnu lies. So whenever Vishnu is going to take incarnation, the serpent Sheshnag also will take incarnation together, right? So it is said that he is himself Lakshman. So wherever Ram went, Lakshman was with him. So we say that Lakshman is the symbol of faithfulness. He has been very faithful towards his brother and also Sita, sister-in-law. He is fully devoted. He is the embodiment of devotion, of obedience and service. He obeyed Ram. If Ram needed something, wanted something, even for Sita, he obeyed them and served. He served them, right? Donc, the main thing in his character is how he renounced his life and went to the forest, right? He renounced the princely life and went to the forest. He was very close to Ram, and he also helped Ram to kill the demon Taraka in the forest. He was the one who defeated Surpanakha. Surpanakha, that is the the sister of Ravan. He was married to Urmila, who was the sister of Sita. And as a Kshatriya, he also protected the sages. He protected them when they were doing fire sacrifices, right? He did his duty as a Kshatriya. And accompanying Ram to the forest, I told you that. Now, Lakshman was such a person that he did not speak much. He was moderate in his views. In everything, he practiced the moderation. This is the best yoga, actually, moderation. We don't eat too much sugar or else we'll get diabetes. This is moderation. So he practiced that. Whenever it was important to talk, he talked. He was courageous, but he was a cautious man. Whenever Ram and Sita were taking rest, he was there as a god. He was cautious. He would talk only when it was necessary, and such a person would vigorously and violently react when the occasions arise. It happened that many times he had been violent, right? That was a problem in his character. He was very hot-tempered. He would get angry very easily. So this is important. He considered Ram as the father. We always say that the eldest brother, Liam, prend la place of the father in the house, in the family, right? So Ram did take care of everyone like his father would. And Lakshman, he considered Ram not less than his father. He believed in master of his own fate. He was not among those people who would sit and wait for destiny to do its work. then he would say, oh, it had to happen, so it happened. No, he would take destiny in his hand. He would master that. He would work for that, right? So he abandoned his wife. We know he left his wife to go to the forest. He loved all the mothers equally. Everyone, même Ram aussi dit comme ça. He loved all the mothers, the three mothers equally. And he considered Sita as a mother, and he never saw Sita's face. He would never recognize Sita by seeing her face. He always saw her feet, right? So he was religious, he was spiritual. There was an incident happened when he became angry, when Bharat was taking the army and people of Ayodhya to come to the forest. So when he saw Bharat coming with the army, he thought that Bharat was not satisfied with the kingdom. He is now coming to fight, right? But it was not the case, of course. Bharat was coming there to convince Ram to return to the forest, which Ram did not accept, right? So that is the problem of being short-tempered, hot-tempered, right? What we call the Lakshaman Rekha, Lakshman litifère a line of protection for Sita, that Sita should not cross that line unless she would be protected within that boundary, right? But unfortunately, Sita crossed that because of Ravan, who disguised as a sage, and you know how she was kidnapped. And Lakshman, together with Ram, went in search of Sita. He also fought in the war when there was the war between Ram and Ravan. He also fought there, and there was an incident where he became unconscious, right? And how to save him, pas seulement Litina, other soldiers as well, how to save them. And the solution was the Sanjeevani, the medicinal herb, which Hanuman flew to take it. Now, when Hanuman went there, he was confused as, was this one Sanjeevani or that one? And he also thought that maybe they will need a lot because the war had to continue for many days. And eventually, he lifted the whole hill of Sanjeevani. C'est pour ça, usually, devant le rapport de Meten Hanuman, qu'il peut carry a mountain, which is a sign of strength, right? So Hanuman helped Lakshman in a way to survive, to get well. Now, the four brothers are considered to be Dharma, Artha, Kam, and Moksha, which are the four Purusharthas. What are the four Purusharthas? Because without one, you can't reach to Moksha. We can't get God. We can't reach God. Right? So Dharma, Artha, Kam, and Moksha. Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrughna. Right? They are all equal en deux mots. They are all equal. He respects women, that we know very well, right? He was also timid in the company of women. And one very example is he never saw the face of Sita out of respect, right? Out of respect. He was a great warrior. We have seen him fighting on the battlefield. He was pure in thought, word, and deed. When there was an incident which happened when Ram went in search of the golden deer. Lakshman was with Sita to protect her. But then when Lakshman and Sita, they heard the voice of Ram crying out for help, which definitely was not Ram. It was Marich, the golden deer. He was a demon. So Lakshman knew that that was not Ram. That was the conspiracy of a demon. But Sita, she insisted that Lakshman should go and protect Ram, protect his brother. When Lakshman refused to go, Sita Jali Ale, but Lakshman refused to go, here Sita used a harsh word for him. You are taking advantage of the absence of your brother. Sita was very harsh towards him at that time. So he could not hear that because he is a soul who is pure. He's pure in thought, in his word, in his deeds, in his action. So that was the time he did the protection line and he went to help Ram, right? So this is a bit about Lakshman. Well, you have the quotes there. I'm not reading the quotes within a Suban translation. You can choose one or two to learn. Then we have Bharat. Bharat, who is considered to be the personification of self-sacrifice, right? He is also a role model. Yeah, he is the son of Kaikeyi. He is the son of Kaikeyi. Now, he is the personification of self-sacrifice. Okay, sacrifice, everyone has to do that. Sacrifice here means they sacrifice, they renounce. Like Lakshman, he renounced his wife, he renounced luxuries. So did Bharat. You know that Bharat was absent in Ayodhya when that episode where Kaikeyi asked for the 2 bones, right? And Ram went to the forest and all. So Bharat was not there in Ayodhya. C'est pour ça que Bharat, après, il prend people of Ayodhya and the army, he went to meet Ram in the forest, right? So he was absent. He went to his maternal uncle at that time. So when he came to know that Ram was not there, of course, he was not happy, right? Fully, Ram was the eldest brother, was someone worthy of reverence, was the father figure for him. So then, as I said, he went to the forest to convince Ram, but he could not convince Ram, right? Ram had to abide by what his father said. So Bharat then took the sandal of Ram, Napilsa Parduka in that term. That was so sandal, qu'il fait a wooden sandal. He brought that from the forest. And he placed that on the throne, where usually the king sits on the throne. And he said that he's not going to sit on the throne parce que that was the place for his brother, for Ram, the eldest brother of the family. He can't take that place, he can't sit there. But yes, he agreed to administer the work of Ayodhya because there was no one to take care of Ayodhya. He agreed to do that without sitting on the throne. Right? And where was he living? He was not even living in the palace. Litifair and kind of the hut next to the palace. He was living there. Because he wanted to live the way Ram was living in the forest. Of course, Ram had no big house, palace, or luxuries. He was living exactly that way, in that way. And Bharat promised something, that if ever Ram does not return after 14 years, or he takes time, or whatever happened, he doesn't return after that, he would commit suicide. Bharat promised that. That is why once the once the Ramayana war finished, Ram told Hanuman to go to Ayodhya to inform Bharat that they are returning. He might commit suicide, which would be futile at the end, right? So that was the whole story. So he was the personification of sacrifice, right? So he rejected the throne, he rejected materialism for the brother. Nowadays, we hardly see such, love between brothers and sisters also. Nowadays, we fight for property, but there that was different, right? He was angry with his mother. That is one point to note, of course. He was angry with his mother, Kaikeyi, because all these happened because of Kaikeyi. Right? He also saved the Manthara from Shatrughna. Shatrughna was very angry. Because of Manthara, Kaikeyi, Nalbiman, Dashrath, two Samandra Fera, the two wounds, right? So Shatrughna was going to throw out Kaikeyi, and he saved the Manthara from Shatrughna. This part I've told you about, returning. He kept fast when he knew Ram and Sita were keeping fast. He vowed to observe brahmacharya. And he was also married, but he said he would observe brahmacharya, celibacy. He would live a simple life. That's what he did next to the palace. And whenever there was some time where he knew that Ram and Sita would be fasting, he did that as well. Right? So you see his dedication, his devotion. Actually, all the brothers, right? All the brothers. Not only Lakshman or Bharat, even Shatrughna, all the brothers. So he failed to convince Ram to go to the forest, and he took his wooden sandal to Ayodhya, right? Let's see a bit of Hanuman. So Hanuman, of course, the embodiment of strength, of service, humility, eloquence, celibacy, devotion, intelligence, lots to say. He is the one who has reached the Godhead. Hanuman is definitely considered an incarnation of God. But si nous get Hanuman vraiment dans Ramayana, Ramcharitmanas, he has been depicted mostly as a devotee of God. And he is a devotee who has reached the Godhead. You have Prahalad, you have Mirabai, these devotees, they have been great devotees. You have Shabri also from the Ramayana. But none of them reached Godhead. But Hanuman is the one who has reached Godhead. The Najo people pray Hanuman for his goodness that he has, right? Of course, he has different names, Pavan Kumar and all. So original name actually is Maruti, right? C'est ça son original name, Maruti. But he got the name Hanuman, right? Parce que Hanu means the jaw, the jaw. And Hanuman says that totally in and jokey and big broken. See, actually, it's a broken jaw. So that's why he's called Hanuman, right? How he got that broken jaw, there is a, I guess, the story there. Effectivement, Lila. He actually flew to the sun, towards the sun. He thought that the sun was a kind of fruit that he could eat. He was flying, he had that powers, right? He flew to the sun to capture the fruit, actually, the sun. But of course, he could not. Then Indra, he threw his thunderbolt. Indra's weapon, say thunderbolt. And then Hanuman fell. When he fell, his jaw was broken. So someone who has a thick or a big jaw, broken jaw, is Hanuman, the name, right? He is a divine being, you know, among the monkeys, the Vanar Sena, the monkeys. He is the one, of course, dedicated like others, but he had powers. No, pensa eight siddhi. Voilà. The word is siddhi. Siddhi say supernatural powers, again supranormal powers. Like one I can tell you is, you know, increasing the size of the body or decreasing the size of the body. So Hanuman could eventually do that. Like flying, you know, a normal person can't do, a normal monkey can't do that. So he could do that. So he had siddhis. We call that siddhi. And we have 8 siddhis. He's the reason for which we, you know, we take his name is he is a great devotee of the Lord. Lydia, dans Ramayana, Lydia nous que dans Ramayana, Lydia nous que dans chaque peau qu'il y a dans ce l'écho takes the name of Ram, chant the name of Ram. Chaque peau qu'il y a dans ce l'écho, right? And wherever he would be, he would take the name of Ram. If he has to take start a work, he would take the name of Ram, right? So he was totally dedicated to Ram. And he is an example of selfless service, Nishkam Karma. And there's a story actually when after the war of the Ramayana, after the war, Ram was gifting everyone, was giving gifts to everyone who helped him in the war. Everyone, even the monkeys, even the squirrel, and many animals helped Ram. So Ram was gifting them something. So Ram gifted Hanuman a necklace of pearls. Pearls, a necklace of pearls. So when Hanuman got that, he broke the necklace. He was breaking each pearl in that necklace, each pearl. When people asked him, because, you know, you get a necklace of pearls, it's quite rare, it's quite expensive, you would definitely like it, no? Or you will keep it properly. But Hanuman broke that. So Hanuman said, he could not find Ram and Sita in that. He was looking for Ram and Sita in that. Ça amène vers le point que, to the conclusion that this necklace represents what? Materialism, no? The material. So if we keep on living a material life, it's hard to reach God. In this material life, if we get involved in it totally, we'll never reach the Supreme. So then it was at that time कि Sudkuni Hanuman li ouvert sur l'estomac, no? So chest. And in that, they could see, people could see Ram and Sita. Right. And then how to quand il ouvert l'estomac, là, il referme, pareil. How to do that? Then Sita applied sindoor on the chest of Hanuman. Si je ne remarquais quand Bandimun fait la prière Hanuman, je charao sindoor. Sindoor is not used to faire du tika of it, like on the forehead. No, it should be on the chest. It should be applied on the chest of Hanuman. Real sindoor in good effect, like si on gagne du mal ou cave mettre l'eau du mal pour faire bien. Real sindoor. But nowadays we have chemical things, no? So that was the event of, one thing in the Ramayana concerning Hanuman, which shows that Hanuman was totally dedicated, did selfless service, nishkam karma, dedicated to Ram. He was a perfect being. He was a sincere friend of Sugriv. Et lui-même qui lui fait Sugriv and Ram meet later on in the forest. He was a perfect orator. In the forest, he went to meet Ram and Lakshman. Actually, he disguised himself to meet Ram and Lakshman, where he showed himself to be that perfect orator. Whenever it was important to talk, he would talk. A perfect, this is the example of the quality of a perfect orator, right? And Hanuman knew Sanskrit, so he was intelligent, he is the hero of Sundarkand chapter of Ramayana, where it is about Hanuman, right? So he is the hero of that Kand. A probably desert lifting of the Sanjeevani hill, to cure, He has been a messenger. He went in Lanka as a messenger. He has been an advisor as well. When Vibhishan came to meet Ram, Ravan actually, he kicked out Vibhishan from Lanka. So Vibhishan came to Ram, wanted to take refuge to Ram. And then Lakshman said, you should not accept, Nindya Ram, you should not accept Vibhishan, because he is the brother of the enemy of Ravan. But Hanuman, no, he advised that we should take him because he's surrendering. And deuxièmement, he knew that when Hanuman went to Lanka, he could hear the name of Ram somewhere. Quand il allait, c'était Vibhishan. Right? Et aussi, il y a une histoire qui dit que quand Hanuman set fire to Lanka, everything burned, no? Kotlin set fire apart the hut of Vibhishan. Parce que Vibhishan was there taking the name of Ram. Okay. He has all the qualities in him, yet he is humble, very humble. Il pas faire grand noir comme si of whatever he has, whatever powers, So he was not proud of that. He was not arrogant, very humble. Actually, there was a point where they needed someone to go to Lanka to see if Sita was okay or not. Who would go? No one could go so fast and return so fast apart from Hanuman. So Hanuman said, how can I go? Then Jambant was the one who reminded Hanuman that, oh Hanuman, you have powers to fly, right? It shows that, Hanuman sikha diya ke, I have the powers, I can fly, but he did not. Someone had to remind, oh, you have the power, you can do that. Which shows humility. It shows humility. Il n'est pas fait grand noir que I have this, I can do such and such work, right? And eventually he flew to Lanka to see where was Sita and all, right? So I give you an example of a question which you can get question on Ramayana like this. It's not from the past paper, I just wrote that myself. So Rabindranath Tagore characterizes the Ramayana as the epic of the relations of family life. Okay, pas oublier énormément de questions, les cas de nous comme ban coach, là, li pose ban question, right? So for Ramayana also you can get such a question. The past exam होगा inali pour Veda, pour Upanishad, tout ça. So expect that for Ramayana and even for Mahabharata. For anything, you can expect that. So Tagore has said that Ramayana is the epic of the relations of family life. Okay, family life in terms of mother, father, brothers, sister-in-law, respect, one value in a family. So you think of that, right? Explain why the teachings of the Ramayana on idealism, being ideal, might be important to Hindus. Bon, normalement, une question là, une question 5 points avant, me mettre l'inspire l'envers, right? So, Ramayana on idealism. Who was the one ideal in the Ramayana? Almost everyone was ideal. Ram was definitely ideal. Sita was. Lakshman was ideal for what he was. Bharat was. Hanuman also was. Right? But the perfect being, we always say, is Ram and Sita being the perfect being. So these lessons, you take lessons from the characters. Sinukos Ram qui fait nous an ideal, parce que an ideal son, a good son this is one example I'm giving you, right? As to these teachings might be important to Hindus, yes, they are important to Hindus, because we are living in such a world that brothers, they fight for property, but their brothers in Ramayana, they were ready to renounce property for brothers, right? So you take examples of idealism in the Ramayana. You take different examples, yes, right? Assess the claim that Ramayana is a simplified version of the Veda. Est-ce que c'est qui dans Veda indienne Ramayana aussi dit la même chose? Définitivement oui. Example, Veda has told us not to lie. Veda has told us not to lie. So did Ramayana in a way or other, not to lie. Satyam vada dharmam chara. We speak the truth. We act accordingly as per dharma. This is one example I'm giving you, right? Living a rightful life, simple life of celibacy. It's there in the Veda. So Ramayana is a simplified version of that. And also simplified in terms of language. Outline 5 main points in the characters of Ram. Sanao Kavyali pour Hanuman, pour Sita also. 5 main points, okay, only 5 things you say in the character of Ram, okay. So you can try doing this question